introduce our speaker, Mr. Niaz Abbas, who is a talent acquisition leader with a global experience of over 18 years into recruitment and operations with strong business acumen. I request you, sir, to present with your presentation, to start with your presentation. Please unmute your mic.
Sure. Thank you so much. Are we waiting for some more people to join in, or we are done with?
We can wait.
Yeah, if you want, we can wait for a couple of more minutes.
Yes. Yeah, no problem. We can wait for a few more minutes and then we can start, because people will join after 3 o'clock only. So it takes some time for people to gear up.
Yeah. Definitely. Otherwise, Khalid Saab, how are things?
Things are, alhamdulillah, fine. How are you?
Good. Allah shukar. Thank you so much.
I wrote a message to you. I have not received the reply to that.
At which LinkedIn or?
No. I think on your WhatsApp. I also forget what was this about, but this was about somebody's query.
Oh, I'm extremely sorry. I might have missed it.
I sent you a resume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a resume. I sent it across to you. Just listen to this. This is some Rashid Nabi from Delhi.
Okay.
So there is an old one of our colleagues working with us in IMEDA. So her friend, she has asked me to look for some job for him. He's into IT sector, and I think he's into app and all that. So look for a job for him. सर मैं मीटिंग में हूँ, अकबर साहब से बात कर लीजिए. अकबर से अकबर सर.
After this session, I'll check and definitely revert back to you.
Yeah.
I might have missed it.
So I think more people have joined.
I think we can begin. People will join in.
Sure, we can begin. Definitely. I think we have some good number of people. So Khalid Saab, with your permission, should I begin the session?
Yeah, please, you are most welcome.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, adab, everyone. My name is Niaz Abbas, and I have roughly around 18 plus years of experience, majorly into HR, with specialization into recruitment. And fortunately, I've worked in some very good organizations, which have been MNCs. I've worked with companies like Wipro, Hewlett Packard, IBM, and Concentrix. And off and on, I have been into, a couple of my own entrepreneurship assignments also. So overall, as I said, roughly around 18 years of experience. I've handled territories like entire North, entire South, and I've looked after global locations also, right? So this particular session would be majorly focusing on communication skills, and we would be talking about some basic rules of communication skills. So one of the most important thing about communication skill is that in today's scenario, it is the most important aspect of any business. Whether you are in a private job, whether you are in a government job, whether you're doing something of your own, it is the most important thing when it comes to communication skill. It helps you negotiate better, it helps you communicate better, it helps you to understand and establish a connection with people across the table. So with this opportunity, firstly, I would like to thank Empower for bringing this particular aspect on record and helping others and helping the entire society with all these job readiness programs. And I would really thank Khalid Saab and Dr. Khan for making this possible in this pandemic situation. Because in this particular situation, we have seen a lot of people losing their jobs. So we have seen a lot of freshers getting out of college but not having a job in hand. So such programs helps them build their confidence, makes them ready for the future, for the jobs which are in future, which is going to come in next couple of months. We are expecting the situation to improve, inshallah, very soon, right? So these programs will help them overcome the fear of getting a job. So Angela, I'll just present my presentation, right? Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure. You can share the screen.
Yeah, just 1 second. Is it visible now?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So firstly, I would take an opportunity to, talk about Impar. Basically, Impar is a platform which has been established just 2-3 months back only, with a vision to basically change the image and the proactive nature of the society in which Muslims or the minorities particularly are in a bad shape, right? To improve the image of the minorities, we have created this platform, and especially Dr. Khan and Mr. Khalid has put in a lot of effort in this last 2-3 months to bring it into a shape in which it is currently. Overall, I think, when we talk about Muslim community, we have roughly around 15% of the population across India, which is Muslims. But when we talk about, people at important positions or job related, it is hardly 3 or 4% of the people which are there. So, we really need to pick this up, this 3%, we need to improve, and we need to come across as a strong community so that we overall can make an impact on the society. So firstly, this is a slide which is taken from
We
a...
can see.
I'm sorry?
We can see the slide. Can you open the presentation, please?
Is it visible now? Is it
Stop.
visible? I'll just share the slides again.
Yes, it's visible now.
Wonderful. So I'll start with this particular slide, which is taken from a movie from Namak Halal. I'm sure most of us would have heard about this movie, and in this particular movie, Amitabh Bachchan talks about English as a language, in which he says, I can walk English, I can talk English, and I can laugh English, because English is a very funny language. We all, when we were looking at this movie, we all laughed about it. We all had a very good, hearty smile on our face. But if we look at it from today's scenario, English has become a very important aspect. Apart from all the other languages Obviously, Hindi is our mother tongue, Urdu is our mother tongue, but then English is one language which has become a mandatory language when we talk about private sector jobs or government sector jobs, or even if you are an entrepreneur and you are doing business, whether it is export, import, or any other type of business, it's a e-commerce business, any other business, this particular language helps us, overcome a lot of barriers. And definitely, it is a funny language, but then it is an important language when we talk about today's scenario. So what is communication? Basically, the particular word communication has been derived from a Latin word which is known as communicare. It basically means to comment to many or share. So communicate is nothing. It is basically a way of sharing your thoughts, your ideas, and taking knowledge from others. The process of communication, every person will have a different definition of communication with him or her, right? But the most important aspect of communication in particular is basically to understand and relate what the other person is saying, and then you respond back in the same scenario. Communication has become such an important aspect that even if we are across the region, across the country, English as a language would definitely help bridge that barrier. You might not know French, you might not know German, right? But if you know English and you're able to communicate in English, at least the basic conversation can take place. Angela, please do let me know if I'm going too fast on that.
No, it's perfectly fine.
So basically, communication is of three types: verbal, non-verbal, and symbolic. The verbal is basically what we use as intonations of words and sound. When we say intonation, it is basically the expression through our speech that we are talking about, right? And non-verbal is obviously the gestures, the postures, and the movements. And symbolic is basically the body language. So non-verbal has taken a very important aspect, somewhere around 50-55% of the entire conversation has taken over by paralinguistic, which is non-verbal. So just to explain you what exactly is non-verbal or paralinguistic. It is basically the volume, the speed, and the intonation of voice, along with the gestures and non-verbal cues. You might be speaking in a very high volume, you might be talking very fast, or your intonation in terms of, your expression of words might be very different. But all these three aspects create a very important impact on the sentence that you are talking or conversing with. So suppose you are saying something which is very loud. Obviously, it is not pleasant for the person to hear on the other side. And that is the reason the volume has to be very, very well thought and well balanced. You cannot have a volume which is high or a pitch which is high. Similarly goes with the speed of the words. You cannot use the words and the speed at which you deliver the sentence in a very fast manner. Because when you speak very fast, it becomes very difficult for the person on the other side of the table to really understand or capture your sentence, which creates in particular a lot of misunderstanding among the conversations. Similarly, intonations are the volumes which is there are some words in which you have to put stress. So when you put stress on those words, obviously the pitch goes high. And there are some words which you need to uh, speak slowly. And when you speak those words slowly, it has a different impact. So all this, a combination of all this, the volume, the speed, the intonation of voice, along with gestures, create a paralinguistic environment, which plays a very critical role in the communication skill of a person. Why do we really think that communication skill is important? Why a paralinguistic form of communication is important? Obviously, a communication skill is basically a combination of 3-4 different aspects, as I told you in my previous slide. So these aspects, when these aspects come together, they form a communication skill. They form a confidence in your body language. They form a particular speech which the other person looks at, and overall he assumes the way a person is speaking as a different aspect of communication skill. Similarly goes with non-verbal language. Your expression, the way you express, your body language. When you're speaking to a person, you speak to him with eye contact. Those things are very important. Those things create a body language overall, and those things come across or shows you in particular as a person with a lot of confidence, as a person with a lot of attitude, a person who knows his subject, and a person who can be relied on. Body language plays not just an important part in communication skill. Body language also plays an important part in your personality. Overall personality, the way your body language is, it plays a very, very critical role. Anyone looking at your body language can guess or assume your entire content of your particular personality. So obviously paralinguistic and then body language. These are two important combinations which are there. And then obviously it is followed by the words that you choose to use when you're talking to someone. A particular word might have a different meaning when used in a different form, and the same word might have a different meaning when you're using in a different sentence. So the choice of words also plays a very, very critical role. But then overall personality, overall communication skill, words play a very, very, so I would say maximum 10, 20%, 25% of the role. The entire role is of your body language, the volume, the speed, the intonation at which you are talking. And communication skill is a combination of all these three things. The reason why communication skill is so much stressed upon or emphasized in today's world is because it is the most important aspect which helps you climb the ladders of success, whether it is corporate world, whether it is government side, or whether it is any other aspects of life. So some of the advantages of good communication skill: confidence, body language. It gives, if you know your subject, if you have a command on your language, you can interact with any particular person and you can talk about any topic. If you do not have confidence on your subject, on your language, you would definitely hesitate to talk to a person. You would definitely like to avoid a conversation. If I am not comfortable in French or German or Arabic, I would definitely not like to speak to a person who is fluent in Arabic or fluent in German or fluent in French, because I do not have a command over my language. A person might ask me anything and I might not be able to respond, which will put me in a little embarrassing situation, which might put me in a situation where I am not able to answer, and it might just make me, a funny person for in front of others. So, communication skill basically builds your confidence. It is the basis of decision making. How can a communication skill be a basis of decision making? If I can communicate well, if I can understand well, I would be able to take a decision quickly. Suppose an order is given to me by my boss, right? And I'm able to understand the language, I'm able to understand the subject, I'll be able to deliver it better. I will be able to take a decision on it better and quickly. So obviously it plays a very, very critical role when we talk about decision making, problem solving. A good communication skill again plays a very, very critical and vital role in solving the problems. It is a similar situation where once you understand a situation, once you understand the instructions given on it, you are able to solve a problem or tackle a problem and get a solution to it. A very simple example, there are a lot of times when we order products from any of these e-commerce sites, and there are a lot of instructions written on that product in terms of how to prepare that product, how to make it ready. If we are not able to understand the instructions written on it, we will not be able to completely, with 100% create that product. So obviously a written communication skill, a verbal communication skill, each and everything plays a very, very critical role. More productivity. If I'm able to understand an instruction properly, quickly, my productivity will increase because I will waste very little time or literally no time in following the instruction. If an instruction is given to me and obviously I can understand it quickly, I can correlate what my superior, what my boss, or what my employer is expecting out of me. It will help me increase my productivity. More opportunity. Again, it is a similar situation wherein if we go across continents, across countries, and we are able to speak in a particular language, and we are able to converse in a particular language, it will give us more opportunities. It will help us create more opportunities. English as a language, trust me, is the most important language across the world. English is the only language which most of the countries across the world speaks and understands, except China. China really loves its language and they do not appreciate English as a language there. But then, yes, most of the countries, they acknowledge and respond to you if you are speaking in English. So similarly, it creates a lot of opportunities. It will give you an opportunity to converse with people. It will give you an opportunity to interact with people, and it will give you an opportunity to grow in life. Similarly, when it comes to negotiations, if I am bad in speaking, right? If I am not able to communicate properly, be it Hindi language, English language, Arabic, any language that we can think of, our negotiation skills goes for a toss. Any specific reason for that? Yes. When you talk to a person and when you're negotiating a person and you are able to communicate and express what exactly are you looking at and what exactly are you talking about and what exactly do you want, he or she on the other side of the table will definitely understand. He will definitely understand. He will definitely take you seriously. We as a person, because of our negotiation skills, can definitely go miles and win a lot of projects. You know, we can always be in profit if we are able to negotiate properly, but we can only negotiate when we have a good command over our subject. So in particular subject and in particular language and in particular your matter, you should know very well. You cannot sit across the table without knowing your subject and go and negotiate on something. Strong leadership attributes. You know, a good leader would just give you commands and guide you. He is a leader because he has understanding of the language of the subject. You can become a leader only when you are able to understand what exactly are the visions, what exactly are the missions, and what exactly are the aims and objectives of the organization. To understand these things, what is important is you to understand and communicate in a language which across your peers, across your supervisors understand. It will definitely be an important aspect for you to grow in life. Moving on to next slide. This is called the art of listening. It plays a very, very critical role. You know, the most basic of all human needs is the need to understand and be understood. The best way to understand people is to listen to them. Generally, what we as an individual do is whenever there's a conversation going on, we would definitely try and put our point across. We would try and speak in between without letting the other person finish. What happens in such conversations? Honestly, if you ask me, biggest disadvantage that is there in such communications is people don't understand what exactly one or the other person is saying or talking about. If you listen to a person very carefully, there are chances that you would have a lot of solutions. There are chances that you would have a lot of understanding of that matter, and you would be able to respond properly. But then, as I said, we as an individual, we as a human being, have this tendency of jumping the guns. And when I say jumping the guns, it means, you know, we just hear half the sentence and we feel, oh, I know the answer. I know this. I can speak on this topic. And without letting the other person complete, he or she would just jump on it and try and respond. There's a possibility that you are right, but in larger extent, there's a possibility that you might not have understood what exactly the other person wants to say. And, you know, there's one very famous quote that I've just copied from somewhere, which says that, you know, if we were supposed to talk more and listen, we would have been given 2 mouths and 1 ear. Which is a fact. Honestly, if you ask me, it is a fact. The reason why we have been given 2 ears is to basically listen more and speak less. Somewhere I read, you know, honestly, somewhere I read a quote wherein any knowledgeable person, what he or she does is he or she listens to most of the conversations and would give his or her opinion only when it is required. And that makes him or her a successful person. Because what he or she does is he or she basically tries and gains a lot of information from others. He or she would filter that information and use it as per his importance or convenience. And whenever required, he would give his or her opinion. it gives that person an advantage of gathering more and more information and giving his opinion as and when required. Sharing is definitely an important aspect, but sharing at the right time and at the right place is also very critical, right? Moving on to our next slide. Some of the aspects of effective communication skills. I'm sure, trust me, I'm sure after the session of Major Ali, this session might sound very boring because he was an amazing speaker, right? And he had his own things to talk about. But this particular topic really would help you understand and build you as a person, as an individual, and will help you in your career. For sure, it will help you in your career. You know, some of the reasons of effective communication skills is eye contact. Whenever you're talking to a person, whenever you're speaking to a person, you should have an eye contact and your face should be visible, right? Very important aspect, your body language. You should show your body language. You should sit in a way, the body posture, everything matters. Whenever you walk for an interview, trust me, the first thing the interviewer looks at is the body language. Within first 5 minutes of the conversation, and the reason I'm telling you this, I have taken more than 1,000, 1,500 or 2,000 interviews in my life, right? Within first 5 minutes of the entire interview session, I can make out a person that he or she is the confident person, is nervous. It gives an immense knowledge, it gives an immense understanding of your personality, the body language. And again, silence. When I say silence, it basically means listen to what the other person is saying. Do not jump your guns. Let the interviewer finish his or her question. I'm sure you might know the answer, but then you will have to respect the person who is taking your interview. You will have to allow him time to complete his question or sentence before you speak out. Checking for understanding. What exactly is checking for understanding? There are a lot of times we don't understand the question. So what do we do in such a scenario? Should we ask the interviewer to repeat the question? Or should we just answer whatever we have understood? The most important aspect is you should come forward and ask the interviewer to repeat the question. Because if you don't ask him to repeat the question and whatever you've understood you answer, there is a possibility that you might be wrong. And that one particular question might fail you in the interview. So if you have not understood, please feel comfortable, please feel free to move forward and ask the interviewer to repeat the question. Trust me, the person sitting on the other side has also gone through all these things. He has also given a lot of interviews. He has also given a lot of interviews, questions, answers to reach at this position. He would understand your situation. But if you just answer him incorrectly, that might land you in trouble. A smiling face, a very important aspect. A smiling face shows how you can gel in the team. We might not understand the importance of it when we are giving an interview, but it shows that you're not in stress. It shows you're not too tense, you're not too nervous, your body is not too stiff. And all these are soft skills which the interviewer looks at without questioning you. The guy sitting on the other table will question you about subject, matter. They would never question you about your body language. They would just read your body language. Whenever there's a question, and you don't know the answer of it, generally start getting tense about it. Do you really think a tense situation will help you come out of that situation? A tense face? No. Maybe with a smile you can say, maybe I think I missed out on that question. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. You have to be very, very honest. But then if you come across with a smiling face, with a very happy face, with a very, very confident body language, the chances the interviewer might just skip that question. But then if you just become very nervous, he or she would read your body, he or she would read your mind, and will start throwing more similar questions, which would put you in a very difficult situation. Summarizing what has been said. At times you get an opportunity to answer a long question. You explain everything, but then in the end, you forget to give the gist of it, or the brief of it. What happens? There's a possibility that the person sitting on the other side has not heard your entire sentence. If you are able to summarize, it definitely impacts. Encouragement to continue. What is encouragement to continue? Any person across the country, across the nation, when giving an interview, he or she, the interviewer will definitely encourage you to speak more, because the more you speak, they get a lot of questions out of it. I would make you comfortable as an interviewer and talk to you on various topics. The moment you feel comfortable, you start talking freely. You start talking about a lot of subjects, a lot of things which might not be related to the interview. But then as an interviewer, I would pick up those topics and ask you questions from there. Because the interviewer, most of the time, doesn't have a list of ready questions with him. He or she would definitely, as per the situation, he would frame the questions, mold his questions as per the situation, and ask you. Some questions. This is very critical. The moment you're about to end your interview, one thing that the interviewer asks you is, do you have any questions? What is the reason for that? He has taken your entire interview. He's understood everything about you and your language, about your experience. He just wants to understand how inquisitive you are, how much homework you have done about the interview. So generally you should ask the interviewer some questions related to the organization, related to the profile. These are all aspects which are very important. These are aspects which definitely helps you move and build confidence, and these are all part of effective communication skills. See, at this point of time, trust me, what I'm talking about is more from job related. Overall personality development, obviously I'm not taking that classes, right? I'm talking more about how we can talk about how we can improve on your communication skills towards your job security. Moving on to the next slide. A few things, don't be afraid. Suppose, and this learning to learn English slide is basically for those who do not have command over the subject or language. So I'm talking about English as a language here, which for us is like a foreign language. Right? If we are not able to communicate properly, if we are not able to speak clearly, if we do not have a command, these are the few tips that I would recommend everyone to follow. It definitely would help you improve your communication skills. Don't be afraid. No, take care. You don't know English language. That's perfectly all right. No, you're not born in London, or you're not born in US that, a 3 or 4 year old kid would start speaking English and fluently. Trust me, even at my age, I might not be so fluent as a kid, a 5 year or 6 year old kid in US or UK, because that's their mother tongue. Our mother tongue is what? Hindi, Urdu. You talk to me in Hindi, I'm very fluent. But then we have to learn. We cannot be afraid of learning. Learning in itself, is something, which goes on for life. We cannot just say that I've learned enough. I know everything. I'm the best. There's nothing like I'm the best. There's nothing like I know everything. The day you feel that I'm the best or there's nothing more for me to learn, trust me, that is like the last day. Every single day is a learning for us. Every new day, every single day begins with some learning. The day we stop learning, that day, trust me, it's like over for us. So, excuse me. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid that people will laugh if I speak wrongly. People will make fun of it. Don't be afraid of it. You have to learn. You have to grow. People will be there, they would laugh. People will be there, they would make fun. Keep those side things aside, because they, at the end of the day, they would not earn and give it to you to survive. You have to earn for yourself. And if you have to earn for yourself, you have to develop yourself. You have to develop your skills. So don't be afraid. Just dive in. Try to say things in English. The best way to learn English is to speak it yourself. Don't worry about perfection, noun, grammar, vocabulary. Don't worry about these things. Just try and speak every day. Try and pick up some English newspapers, read a paragraph, try and develop, try and stand in front of a mirror, talk to yourself in English language. These things will help you improve. Believe in yourself. Again, what exactly is believe in yourself? You have a lot of strengths. You might be very good at your work. You might be technically very sound, but then you have already learned some English. You must believe that you can do it. We every day we have to learn. We have to complement each other. We have to complement ourselves if others are not doing it to grow. Then maybe, if you believe, that confidence is there in you that yes, I can learn. It's nothing. It's not a rocket science. It's not a NASA scientist designing or developing a rocket. English, it's just a language. You can learn it. There's no challenge in that. Trust me. And develop that motivation. You have to set a goal for yourself that, okay, I have to crack this particular company, and this particular company requires this level of communication. To achieve that level of communication, obviously your motivation has to be there. If you have a motivation, if you have a goal in sight, it will help you improve. Cooperate with your colleagues. At times, most of the time, we speak in our own comfortable Hindi language, other languages. So, you start speaking with one or two person who just speak with them in the language that you want to. Maybe English is, if the language you're learning, speak to them in that language. Create your own conversation groups. Try out new ways to communicate in that group. And in a class, remember your colleagues are your team members, not your opponents. So don't try to overshow them. Don't try to rule them. Just try and learn with them. Just try and move around with them. As someone rightly said, get the big picture. What is the big picture? Big picture is the ultimate or the end goal. So it is long-term thing that you need to look at. You cannot look at a short-term goal. You cannot look at a short-term achievement. I've been able to speak, a decent English. That's enough for me. I've learned everything. No, that's not the case. You have to become fluent. You have to every day, the more you speak, the more you talk about it, the more you experience it, the more you learn. Even with this, with this 18 years of experience, if you ask me, how good are you in English language? If I have to rate myself, I would not give myself more than 6 or 7 out of 10, because I still feel there's a lot of scope for me to improve. Whenever I speak with someone, who's better, I learn from him. I do not feel shy. I do not feel this guy knows more than me and I should stop talking to him. I learn from him. So you should also look at the bigger picture. A lot of times we are confused, whether we are talking about right things, right words. Should we follow this grammar rule? Should we follow that? Should vowel be put in front of the adjectives? Should noun be clear? Am I talking in the right language? Should I really, I think I should change? No, don't. When you're learning, move with the flow. Do not at all try and restrict your flow. Once you have a command, you can do whatever experiments you want. The language, as the communication skills only improves once you have a command. Initially, you will be able to speak, you will be able to understand, but then command will come only once you are thorough with it. You are an expert to it. So let it flow. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't get confused. It's a similar thing. Trust your hunches. Do not let people, overrule. यार तुम गलत बोल रहे हो. Should ये सही नहीं तरीका नहीं है. ये sentence तुमने गलत बोल दिया. Don't look at all those things. Yes, learn from those things, but don't let those things rule your heart, rule your mind. Don't let those things overcome your power of thought. Because the more you are able to communicate, the more you are able to learn, the more you are able to express, the better you will become. Make your mistakes work for you. We all make mistakes learning anything new. Successful learners, they don't worry about mistakes. They make a note of their errors and they try to correct them, and the next time they try to improve. So make a list of your mistakes. Select your grammar points to watch for. Tape record or record your voice and listen to your errors. That is very critical. If you want to really learn any particular language, you are alone, speak to yourself, record your language, and then slowly listen. When you listen to what you have said, you would be able to find a lot of mistakes and you would be able to improve. And, just to set your own goals. What exactly are goals? I'm not talking about you becoming a CEO of a company after 10 years or a vice president of a company after 20 years. I'm talking about your language. Set your own goals. Every week, obviously we are all busy in our own day-to-day activities. So set your own goals. Every week, okay, for 4 hours a week, I need to work on this particular subject. I need to understand this much. I can only absorb this much of language or this much of noun or this much of sentences. My grammar can improve only this much. Set yourself a goal. Once you have a goal in sight, then only you'll be able to become better. You know, there was a time when I was not able to run for even 5 minutes in the morning. I started with 1 minute of running. After 15 days, I moved it to 2 minutes. After another 15 days, I moved it to 3 minutes. And slowly, today I'm able to run around 5 kilometers because I had set my goals, and slowly and gradually I am achieving that. So set your goals accordingly. So these are some of the barriers which are there for, which stops you from being an effective communicator. Language. We have a challenge. We have English as a language, which is a challenge. We have Malayalam, we have Kerala. We don't know. So we don't know all the languages. We have Gujarati, we have Marathi, we have Sindhi, so many languages. So slowly and gradually learn the most important language, which helps you communicate with all of them. And English as a language is a language which helps you communicate with all of them. Now, whenever there's a lot of noise, obviously it creates a distraction. You know, you are not able to communicate properly. Too many people talking, you know, kash, 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 times it becomes irritating. So please avoid such situations. Lack of interest. Don't let these things affect your mind, your goal. You know, create a lack of interest is an important aspect, which is a barrier to effective communication. You have to learn, you have to make your goal, and then you have to achieve it. Disability. These are topics which you don't want to talk about. You know, you don't know language, that's perfectly all right. We will learn it. We cannot let these things hinder our success, our growth. These are things which will only help us overcome discomfort with the topic. A lot of topics, you know, there are a lot of subjects which I am not comfortable with. Maybe if someone wants to talk to me about a religious debate, I might not be comfortable. I'm not a religious leader. I'm not comfortable. That's perfectly all right, right? But then don't let these things affect you at all. Don't let these things affect you. Just allow me 1 second, just 1 second. Thank you. Too many questions. When people start asking too many questions and you don't know about the topic or the subject, you become uncomfortable. You start avoiding the questions. These are, you know, barriers to your learning. Don't let these barriers overrule you. You have invested time in a particular subject, in a particular language. Let that subject, let that language rule you. Let these distractions not rule you. These are some of the modern tools of evaluating communication. And the reason I'm telling you these about these tools is because especially freshers, graduates, undergraduates, ITES or the BPO sector is an important place where we get a lot of opportunities, job opportunities. And when we go to give an interview in an ITES sector or a BPO, these are the tools, you know, which takes just one. These are the tools through which the interviews are conducted. With this pandemic situation, video interviews are becoming very common. We were using video interviews while doing campuses. We used to send the link to the campuses. We used to ask the candidates to record their 2-minute, 3-minute videos, send it back to us. We would evaluate. Out of 1,000 entries, we would shortlist 100 entries, and then we would take the interviews for them. But now with this pandemic situation, obviously everyone is using this particular initiative or facility to take interviews. So in this particular facility, what a person does is he or she would send you a link to record your interview on a specific topic, maybe a topic given modernization, right? A woman empowerment. You speak on that topic for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and you send back the interview, and the person will evaluate the entire communication skill. It would look at your body language, it would look at your language, it would look at your vocabulary, it would look at your intonations, everything. And then they would gauge you and revert back to you. There are a lot of these automated tools which are getting used these days, which are written versions, voice versions, SWR test, AMCAT test, and Versant English written test. These are all machine used tools, and these tools are automated, recorded. You know, a unique code is given to you, and you press those code and you give your interview. It would have 6 sections, 5 sections, and this would be purely on language, English language based test. And there are trained assessors who take these interviews. You know, trained assessors, a lot of these corporates build a team of their own trained assessors, and they would take these telephonic interviews and gauge you on your communication. Once you are through with that round, they would move you to the second round, which is the operations round. You know, obviously resume writing is not the topic that I have to cover, but the reason I'm talking about resume writing is, again, communication skill. We are talking about a written communication skill here. What happens is, generally, in my particular 18 years of experience, I've come across hundreds of CVs in which there are errors, spelling mistakes. These things are not good sign for a person who is taking the interview. So when you're writing your resumes, please be very careful. What most of us do is we try and copy paste resumes from our friends, especially when we are graduates, freshers. We try and copy paste a lot of these points from our friends and, you know, relatives and anyone that we find. But then when you are even copying, you need to see if the spelling mistakes are not there, required changes are there, right? It's not that you copied a resume from a girl and you forget to change the gender to a male. So these things are very important. Group discussion. Again, the reason of this particular topic is, again, when a lot of people apply for a single post or very limited positions, what the HR does is get everyone into a room and does a group discussion. The reason of doing a group discussion is to remove people who do not have command over the language. Remove people who are impulsive. Remove people who are aggressive. Remove people who do not listen to others. So the main agenda of group discussion is basically to reduce to few number of people. And in this group discussion, he would check your communication skill, your interpersonal skills, your leadership skills, your team building skills, your logic and reasoning skills, and assertiveness, your personality. All these topics, all these points I've covered in my earlier slides. But then, trust me, a lot of these companies are doing these group discussions today to remove number of people. I think this is something that most of us would agree on. The biggest communication problem is we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply because we want to make a point. The day we start listening to understand, our lives become much easier. A command on language, our response, our understanding of the subject, everything becomes much simpler and much easier. But then we have this habit. We want to reply to everything. We are the gurus, we are the mentors who know everything. And we want to respond to that. But then obviously that's not the right way. So now guys, I'm open to some questions. In case anyone has any queries, please feel free to throw at me and I would try and answer the questions. Guys, anyone has any queries? So either the topic was very boring and I've not been able to explain anything to anyone, or they have understood everything.
No, that's not.
Wonderful crowd to address.
It was a learned session.
We all have listened to you very carefully.
Yeah.
A lot of things we have also learned.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, even I could remember one of my uncles, uncle. He was contesting elections. So before that, he never had this experience of contesting an election or making a speech. So we purchased a audio recorder, and then he used to first he used to write the full speech, and then he was speaking it, and continuously was doing it for many days.
Definitely.
But ultimately, Alhamdulillah, became the vice chairman of Ghaziabad Municipal Corporation.
Right.
So
Yes,
this is
these
a
are
big
some-
learning for everybody. So you have to, if you want to build your communication skills, you have to work on it.
Exactly. And these are some of the very, very known and repeated old traditional ways which have been going on for years, which help us improve. We have seen the mirror and talked to ourselves for hours to become what we are today. We are from old small cities. We've just learned everything on our own. So
Yeah, that's true. Practice makes a man perfect. So in communication too, the formula applies. So
definitely.
one has to work hard to become a good communicator. I am also learning in this new platform.
Every one of us.
For us also, all of us here, my team, everybody is working hard to communicate better with people because we have to do a lot of communication these days. So thank you so much, Niaz Abbas Sahib. It has been a wonderful session and we have learned a lot from this session.
I'm thankful to Empower, honestly, for creating such a wonderful platform.
This is the
Everyone
beginning.
together.
Yeah, this is the beginning, and we are quite hopeful that we will be doing much more in days to come. And
inshallah, we'll go a
expect
long
full
way.
support from Niaz Sahib also.
Inshallah, we'll go a long way. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Angela, and thank you, Rizwan Sahib, for this wonderful session.
It was a pleasure to
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
we
much.
We have Asad Qureshi Sahib also in this session. So
Oh, wonderful.
thank you, Asad Bhai. Thank you so much. You want to say something, Asad Bhai?
Yeah, I've been listening, and a very fantastic session which was taken by Mr. Niaz Abbas, and it was indeed something to ponder and look upon, especially for everyone, not only for the youngsters, for the people like us also. And it's a wonderful thing which has been expressed, especially the communication skills. I think the communication gap also that has also been covered over there. So it was overall a fantastic session which was taken. I hope more and more people would have been participated here, so the efforts of the speaker will reach to the more audience.
Definitely. Thank you so much. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया असद भाई. Thank you so much. Really a compliment coming from you really means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very
But
much.
these lessons, these are wonderful documents, and we will be using these documents to reach out to other people also through our social media platforms. So all these recordings are very important to us, and these
Definitely.
are going to be there forever for people to learn from these videos. Thank you, Niyaz Abbas Saab. Thanks a lot, and to all the
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया
participants for their keen interest in this program and giving this their time to us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Khuda Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.